Hello, this is Dr. Clement, and I just wanted to create a little video to help with figuring out how to use containers from the standard template library. And so let's just jump right in and give you some tools on how to figure out what's going on here. So if we were to the first place you probably want to go is to c++.com. There's a lot of, if you just Google for C++, you're going to find a lot of stuff that could have varying degrees of quality. But if I look in c++.com for something like a vector, then it's going to really give me the detailed documentation for that. So this is the first place I'd go. And it will tell you a little bit about it. And then if you want some more details, for example, how to use pushback, then it will actually give you some example code that you can use here. And so one of the big things I'm going to suggest is that you go to c++.com and you can look up anything here, a map, and it will tell you how to use a map. And again, there will be an example for each of these functions that are possible for you to use on a map. And so I would go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so now how do you actually build this into code? So let's say that here I have a small program. I mean, initially I can start out with just the normal hello world that you guys are used to, and let me start showing you how you can use functions in your clion editor to actually figure out how these containers work. So again, in this particular case, if I wanted to look up vector and say, first I'm going to include vector, and you notice here is going to be a list of things I could possibly do. If I wanted to use a map, it's going to tell me, oh, here's something you could include there. So those tips from clion can be really helpful in helping you to figure things out. Here again, if I wanted to declare a vector, so here's some tool tips here that give me, I can put in a class here potentially. So I can say a vector of ints, and then I just need to give it a name like vector me. I don't know. Okay, and so then once I have that vector, I can say vector me dot, and here's all the things I could potentially do with that. So again, this is a great kind of documentation built into your integrated development environment, clion, that can really help you. And so, theoretically, I can double click on this and it will fill it in there, and maybe I want to put in a 5 into my vector, push that into the back, and then maybe I want to do a cout and put out vector me dot, how do I get something out of there? Well, I can get it right out of the front is probably what might be something I want to do. And so given that, you can kind of get these tool tips can really be helpful as you're creating your code. So, in this particular case, I can go ahead and build it. Again, it will print out that 5 since there was just one thing in that vector. So a couple of other things that might be helpful. You're saying, well, vectors are easy. Give me something that requires some real work. And so maybe just a little bit of a tip. Inside of this, the next homework, you have a opportunity to learn about maps, right? And I actually think this assignment is a lot of fun. But if we go to this repository, then we can start. It's going to basically lead you through a tutorial, but I want to make sure that you understand what you're doing here. So again, here's the code we're going to actually start working with, dealing with how do I deal with sets, and then how do I use iterators to go through that set. And I just would encourage you, as you're taking a look at this, try to understand exactly what's going on here, because this is kind of a cool natural language processing application, and it's probably one that you'd want to take a look at. So anyway, enough said. That should get you going on how to use C++.com and the integrated tooltips inside of clion to actually figure out how to use the standard template library containers.